Hello and welcome to the show. My name is Dom and this is the lovely Lulu.
Hello.
I actually forgot your title. The title for the show is, what did I say yesterday? I completely forgot that actually. It's Lulu-san from Japan. That's what I actually wanted to say. Okay, so hello Lulu from Japan. Lulu-san. Anyway, can I just start the show by sending out a big hello and a big thank you to our listeners on iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker and Podbean. Thank you so much for actually listening to our podcast, downloading it and even subscribing. We really appreciate it. So thank you very much for doing that. You want to say
Domo arigato.
Yeah, that was in Japanese, absolutely. Right, we have a very interesting program today. I'm very excited about it. We're going to be talking about weird, crazy ways to make money. Lou, I know that you absolutely love money. I think there's only one thing that you love more than money. What's that?
More money.
That's right. That's what I wanted to hear. Exactly. Let's start the show straight away with some really crazy ways to make money that I'm sure you're surprised to hear that actually are in existence. Okay, so we're talking about real existing, jobs, services that people are doing to earn cash. The first one is professional cuddling service. Okay, so these are people who get paid for hugging other people. I mean, strangers, not their friends, not their family members, but cuddling, snuggling, hugging strangers. It does exist. And this seems to be particularly popular in America, especially in Los Angeles, in Japan, no surprise to me actually there, and in the UK. And although there are no official figures, well, I guess there are never any official figures on how much money people are making. Apparently, if you're really into this, you can make about $360 a day, okay, for just hugging people. Now, the reason why this seems to be popular, I mean, this is not to be confused with anything like sexual, okay? So this is not going into a brothel. It's not about having sexual intercourse with a prostitute. It is something, quite benign, actually. It's supposed to be also, and I think that's why it's so popular in Japan, it's about relieving some stress. So, like you have these really stressed out office workers, and maybe they don't have a family, maybe they don't have a partner, and they just want to be hugged at the end of the day. I mean, it's kind of like a sweet idea. So, like you're being bossed around the whole day, you've been running from A to B, and at the end of the day, you just want to have a nice hug. Okay, maybe not from a friend or from a loved one, but from a professional hugger. I think that's okay.
Do you need to make appointment?
Oh, I guess so. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. I don't think you can just go to somebody's house to make that. So you would have to make an appointment to get a nice hug. And I think that's not just once. I think you can probably. I have no idea how this works. Maybe we should actually interview some people who have made a living on this to actually see how this exactly works.
I think it's a little bit like psychology counseling.
Well, yeah, but there's not. Yes, I mean, it's not supposed to be too much about the talking. I mean, I suppose that comes with it. I mean, the services, if you actually Google them online, I mean, we're not going to mention any particular company. I think that would be unfair towards maybe others. They advertise themselves as a snuggling service, but especially also as a companionship service. So I suppose it is similar, it's akin to the kind of escort service, but it doesn't have this, the sleaziness. It doesn't have this anything sexual at all, I mean, it's also really, I mean, if you think about it, the reason why these escort service or companionship services are so popular, it's for business travelers, you go into a town, you don't know anybody, and you just want to spend some time with somebody you can chat to. So it's almost like you can rent a friend. That's also, I mean, all these services are kind of similar. There's also rent a friend. You can also make money by just being a professional friend to somebody. So people who come as tourists or come as travelers, business travelers, they can spend some time with you in that particular city. Maybe you can even show them around. But this one, why it's so strange and so crazy, maybe because it's specifically focused on snuggling. Okay, our next one, I like this one. I think you might want to go into this area, Lou. And well, the next one is really Okay. Now, this is basically about, people love to play games online. Okay? Like on their PS3, PS4, on their Xbox. Now, if you have a job, you don't have that much time to practice. Okay? So you will always have people who are, better than you, have more time to play the game. And for that reason, they're going to be better. Okay? So what they offer here, if you check this online, on Google, for example, you have to check professional gamers, and they offer the service of tutoring, of teaching you how to be a kick-ass player on any particular game. So, for example, Call of Duty. They would teach you the techniques of how to absolutely rule. Okay? When I first saw this, I thought, that's strange, it doesn't make time. But then I'm thinking, people get tutored all the time for all sorts of different things. You want to learn a language, you get a tutor. If you want to learn an instrument, you get a tutor. Well, gaming is a huge industry. So, of course, you're going to get a tutor. And since our Lou is such a professional gamer herself, she loves to play the Call of Duty, especially the zombie games. She is extremely good at this. So if you're interested, if you're not a pro player when it comes to zombies on Call of Duty, get in touch with us, and I think maybe Lou would be interested as a professional tutor. She would give you some really good advice, actually.
Yeah, I will.
So we really do understand that, Actually, some people go so far. This is really the super posh version of that. They don't get tutored anymore. They actually just ask a professional gamer to log in under their login details on their Xbox account or PS4 account, and they play on their behalf. That's like the funniest thing then. So they can always, boast and say to their friends, hey, look, I'm such a kick-ass player. But it's actually a professional gamer behind. And that also exists, actually. Okay? Lou, you can sneeze. There's no problem. Yeah. I think you're about to sneeze. Yeah. Okay. The next service we've got, this is really fantastic as well. It's called Torso for Rent. Okay?
Torso?
Now, basically what you do is... you have companies send you their t-shirts with their logos on, and then you just walk around wherever you live. I suppose it's particularly interesting for companies if you live in big cities and if you actually have to walk around a lot in very, very busy areas. Okay. Now, this idea has been around for quite some time, and it actually started with somebody, apparently a guy called Jason Sadler. It's called the $1 Million Homepage. So he was one of the first ones to actually start with this idea, of using t-shirts, with company logos, and he would just walk around with that. And I suppose you can just do that. So it's not just for the supermodels or for the superstars, super athletes, whenever you see them on television, they are covered with all this advertising. Well, normal people can just do that. You're not going to make $1 million, or if you're lucky, you make a couple of bucks, but hey, that's even better. If you're out and about, walking around in the city, you can just wear the promotional shirts, and people will give you money. So you can check these things again on Google. There's some other web pages, but we won't mention them here. The next one that I found, again, interestingly very popular in Japan. I've heard this a couple of years back. This is about selling your underwear online. Okay, so this seems to be very, very popular. And we're not talking about fresh underwear, like as if you had a store. No, people actually want to buy used underwear. And the longer it's been in usage, the more desirable, apparently. Now this thing, because it has been quite popular, many online marketplaces have actually responded to this, like eBay and it's actually a bit more tricky to actually do that, because apparently this is violating their guidelines. So they're kind of trying to get away from this kind of like kinky online trade there, but you will still find places. So if you are somebody who has a lot of underwear and likes to wear them a lot, you could actually sell them. I mean, as you can imagine, it's particularly popular if nobody wants to have an old man's underpants. So if you happen to be a woman and attractive, then this seems to be even more. It seems to be easier to make money from that. Good. Another one that I found, this is actually this is not so crazy, but maybe people don't know this so much. You can actually sell your hair.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
And it's not too surprising because obviously if you think about it, of how many people, especially men of a certain age, start losing their hair, and they require maybe not just treatment, but actually once they have to start wearing wigs. So it can also happen to women, obviously, for also, when you have certain illnesses, and you start suffering from hair loss. So this is something that you can most definitely sell, and
also some dolls using real hair.
Very, very good point. Absolutely. So your hair can be used for all sorts of different things, including, maybe the dolls and maybe some other things as well, but obviously also for the wigs. So this is quite lucrative. Obviously, the longer your hair is, and also the healthier your hair is, or maybe even particular colors. But you would have to check this online again. But it's definitely a very lucrative area. I mean, you won't be able to do this too many times because it takes a long time to grow your hair. And, some people grow it quicker than others. But it's definitely something worth checking out. Now, the last crazy thing to make some cash is actually about selling your life. This is almost like starting a company, and you give out shares to people to own that company. But rather than owning parts of a company, they own parts of your life. And this is exactly what a guy called Mike Merrill did a couple of years back. He sold 100,000 shares at $1 a share. And now basically these shareholders can make all his important life decisions for him. So he almost becomes like a public thing. It's quite unbelievable. He did this on eBay. And I mean, all his decisions, are being left to the shareholders. Okay, so he's going to say, hey, they can decide whether he should have a haircut, who he's going to have a relationship with, whether he's going to buy a car, what kind of car that is. And you might find it interesting that Mike's shares are still available, actually. So you can still go online and get a bit of that Mike business. And
Setting in my life.
Yes, or you can actually start doing this yourself. I mean, obviously, I don't think that this is actually legal in any kind of country and not actually, enforceable in any way according to the law. But anyway, it's just a crazy, fantastic idea. Okay, so these were a couple of really, really weird things that you can do online, or you can do anywhere really, to make some money. Crazy ways of making money. I think that was quite a wacky show that we had today with all these crazy ideas. Which one was your favorite? Which one do you think you might go for, Lou?
None of them.
None of them? Okay. I think that you could try the gaming one. Being a gaming tutor. I think that would be quite interesting. Or maybe sell your hair.